This right here is all we are going to hear about for the next couple of months, what the Browns should do with the second overall draft pick. Stay put and draft whatever quarterback the Titans likely pass on. Stay put and draft anyone but a quarterback, or trade back. Let me know what option you prefer down below in the comment section as we jump into a Browns mock draft. The Cleveland Browns have the second overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, and it is officially time to jump headfirst into mock drafts, because up until this point, we are really grasping at straws without knowing what pick the Browns are going to have, but now we know, so let's get into it. My third mock draft of the year, and we start off with the Tennessee Titans on the clock selecting Cam Ward. The word on the street is the Titans like Ward a lot, so I won't overcomplicate this. Let's say Cam Ward is a Tennessee Titan, which means the Browns are on the clock, and with the second overall draft pick, I've got the Browns trading it. This is a little bit of what I think, but also what I prefer, because as of right now, I don't have a whole lot to go off of when it comes to what I think. There's not a whole lot of rumors out there. That's not going to come out till like Super Bowl week and Combine week. That's when we get a lot of the good juicy stuff. But I am going off a little bit of what I want as well, and that is for the Browns to trade back and add to their draft picks. And I think the New York Giants are a prime team to deal with. I've got them swapping first-round draft picks, and in exchange for going back one spot, the Browns acquire the Giants' third-round draft pick. Why would the Giants do this? Well, they might get a little fidgety. They might start to panic a little bit that someone could leapfrog them and take their quarterback. So we saw the Bears do this when they moved up in 2017 for Mitch Trubisky in identical fashion, going from 3 to 2. So when the Giants move up to the second overall pick, they get Shedeur Sanders, which means the Browns at number 3 take Abdul Carter, edge rusher out of Penn State. And then to round out the top 5, we've got Travis Hunter going to the Patriots and Will Johnson going to the Jags. So before we get too deep into who is Abdul Carter and what is his makeup, just some more reasoning as to why I think we could see a Browns-Giants trade. I was listening to the Giants owner talk about the future for the New York Football Giants, John Mara, saying, quote, "It better not take too long because I've just about run out of patience." To me, this signals desperate, right? There is going to be some hair on fire in East Rutherford, and I could see the Giants going, hey, even if we don't love Shedeur Sanders as a prospect, we've got to get a rookie quarterback because we've got to have a project that might buy us some time. And our owner is getting a little impatient. And what happens when owners become impatient? They meddle, right? They walk into the war room and they go, looks like you guys have put together a great PowerPoint. I really like that Colorado quarterback. Let's go get him. Who's going to say no to the boss man? He's impatient. He's old and senile. So I could see the Giants moving up, which means the Browns could acquire an extra draft pick in day 2 and get the player that they want all along. The edge rusher, the outside linebacker out of Penn State, Abdul Carter. So let's get to know the Nittany Lion. He is 6'3", 259 pounds. So from a size perspective, pretty good. For comparison, Miles is like 6'3", 270-ish pounds. So Garrett's Superman. He's a freak of nature. You're not going to find guys that big, that strong, that fast. But Abdul Carter definitely checks the makeup for an NFL edge rusher. He has recently moved to that position, so he's still pretty raw. He was an off-ball linebacker early on in Happy Valley. This year was his first true season as a defensive end, an edge rusher. So there's some development that needs to happen here, but the physical traits, they're incredible. I mean, the guy has an incredible first step. He is way too fast to be this big. And there is a lot to sink your teeth into what you can mold out of Abdul Carter. And then you add in, forget the molding, like, how about just the production too? His first year, 11 sacks, 11 and a half tackles for loss. Now think about what he's going to be in a couple of years when he really starts to master the position and hone in on his arsenal and his tool chest as he gets more experience and more development at that spot. He checks everything, Barry, and now I'm kind of leaning into what do the Browns do in the draft with Andrew Berry? Well, they've got a type. They are like the Leonardo DiCaprio of drafting. They like him young, and that's Abdul Carter. He's athletic, and he's at a cornerstone position. Athletic, young, cornerstone. That's what the Browns frequently target more than anything else in the draft under Berry. So, like or hate Berry, let's at least try and think, what are the Browns going to do based on their history? And they usually like to do these three things right here. And this screams Abdul Carter to me. So who do you want the Browns to draft in round 1? Before we look at the rest of my mock draft, let me know in the comment section below who you would like Cleveland to select with that second overall draft pick, or if they move back a few spots, who you want to go after in the first round. So after Abdul Carter, the Browns have the first pick in round 2, and then they go running back. Omarion Hampton out of UNC. I thought about Arizona State's Scatabo, but ultimately I decided to go with Hampton out of North Carolina. 6 foot, 219 pounds, junior, really good size altogether. I wouldn't say reminds me of Nick Chubb because I feel like that's a really tall order, but he is an aggressive, physical running back. He is not some elusive scat back who is a finesse guy. No, he craves content. He wants to take you down with him. Like, he is someone that is going to get in the hole and take down a linebacker falling forward. And that does remind me of Chubb at times. Maybe a better comparison could be like David Montgomery for the Detroit Lions, but there's a little bit more speed right here with Hampton than with Monty coming out of Iowa State. You look at Hampton's last 2 seasons as a starter at Chapel Hill, 1,600 yards. 15 touchdowns in back-to-back seasons. From a production standpoint, yeah, he knows how to run the football. And I could see him being a late round 1, early round 2 draft pick. And I think at this point, the Browns need to invest in the running back position. Andrew Berry's had the luxury of having Nick Chubb, someone he acquired as the general manager, and really never had to go to free agency or go to the draft and find a new running back. But the last 2 seasons, they have been abysmal from a rushing standpoint for Cleveland. And they just need a hard reset, and they need to spend a little bit of a premium asset. The Browns are going to have that first overall pick, like I mentioned, in round 2. The way it works is when you have teams with the same record, the tiebreaker is strength of schedule. So you have 3 3-win teams, and the Browns have the second easiest strength of schedule. Every round after that, they all rotate. So like the guy at the front goes to the back of the line. The guy at the back of the line moves up 1 spot. So that's how the Browns pick first in round 2. Before we look at the rest of my mock draft, I do have to give a quick shout out to our friends over at Game Time. So Game Time has an awesome feature that anyone looking to go to, say Ohio State, Texas is looking for. You should check out Game Time Picks. You see, Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. One thing I love about Game Time is they offer the Game Time guarantee. Let's say you find tickets in the same section and row for less. Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHAT Sports for $20 off. I put all that information for you guys in the comments and description of today's video. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. Moving on to round 3, where the Browns now have 3 third-round picks thanks to the trade with the New York Giants. And with the first pick in round number 3, thanks to the Giants, I've got them going with Aireontae Ersery, the offensive tackle out of Minnesota. It is time for the Browns to address the offensive line. They have made a couple of picks at this spot the last few years. Zach Zinter, DeJuan Jones, but I am looking for a future potential left tackle. And the 6'6", 330-pound senior from Minneapolis can definitely check that box. So the explosive first step is one of the first things that scouts rave about. For a guy who's 330 pounds, you don't find that kind of top-end speed very often. So I'm very excited to see how he performs at the NFL Combine in February, because he may go from being a third-round target to a round 2, potentially a round 1 guy with the athletic makeup of someone who's 6'6", 330 pounds. Now I look at the Browns' offensive line. DeJuan Jones is coming off an injury, and that really sucks for him. Jack Conklin, I thought, played superb. I mean, he played well. Let's just put it there. He played well to very well when he, returned to the starting lineup. But I feel like the Browns need to find at least a swing tackle at the very worst in round 3 of the draft, because they have not had much stability at the tackle position. So they should expect for some backup to go in based on the recent events at the tackle position for Cleveland. But for now, I'm going to pencil in DeJuan Jones at left tackle, pencil in Jack Conklin at right tackle, and add Aireontae Ersery for at least some depth, but the possibility of starting down the line as well. He could take over from Conklin. I mean, you could have Conklin play out the rest of his contract or 2025, move Jones back over to right tackle, and then put Ersery at left tackle, which is what he played at Minnesota. Moving on in round number 3, I'm going to go with Derrick, Harmon, defensive lineman out of Oregon. Now, I personally expect Harmon to go before round 3, but Pro Football Focus thinks he's a round 3 guy in their mock draft simulator, so this could easily change as we get closer to April, but we'll roll with it for now. 6'5", 310 pounds. If you recognize the name, my Big Ten folks out there, he started off at Michigan State, and then he transferred to Oregon, where obviously he had a phenomenal season, but he really broke out as a pass rusher. His last year in East Lansing, 1.5 sacks. This year in Eugene, 5 sacks. So not only was he a very good run stopper who took on double teams well, he fought through them, he freed up his linebackers to go make plays in the backfield, he also showed flashes of pass rush potential, which is just absolute pornography to NFL GMs when talking about interior defensive linemen. And now I'm looking at the Browns' defensive line, and I'm looking at Dalvin Tomlinson getting up there in the age column. Shelby Harris, 1 year left on that 2-year deal he signed, also up there in the age column. Mike Hall coming off likely knee surgery. Not a bad idea to reinforce the interior of the defensive line, because the worst place to get pressure from is right up the middle. And with the Browns getting a little up there in the age column outside of Mike Hall, I think it's a great time to add an awesome player like Harmon, who personally I don't think is going to be there in round number 3, but I remember when we didn't think Perion Winfrey would be there in round 4, and he fell all the way over there, right? So Siaki Ika was a guy who most thought would go in round 2 to the Browns. They got him in round 3. For whatever reason, defensive tackles tend to fall a little bit more. 5th and final pick for days 1 and 2 of the 2025 draft. Oh boy. I'm going to go with Kyle McCord, quarterback out of Syracuse. Don't leave the video. I know Buckeye fans watching are not super jazzed up about the idea of drafting Kyle McCord. I am here to be the messenger. And the message is Kyle McCord is going to go earlier than you expect in the upcoming draft. I am willing to kind of, I wouldn't say stake my reputation on it, but I'm willing to put my name behind that. And you may not like that, but that's based on a lot of what I'm hearing, what I'm seeing and reading, and the belief is McCord did a lot of good for his draft profile this lone season in Syracuse, setting the ACC single-season passing record, 34 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. I know he's got some history in the Buckeye State, but I guess it would kind of count as an Ohio State Buckeye draftee who Andrew Berry does love to target. So if the Browns are going to get a quarterback, I don't think it should be round 1. If you're not going quarterback in round 1, I don't think you should do a dramatic reach in round 2 just for the sake of taking a quarterback. If you're not going to get a quarterback in round 1, then commit to it, right? Wait until round 3 where those guys are supposed to go. Don't reach on one in round 2 because you're panicking that you didn't get one in round 1. No. Stick to the plan. If the plan is we don't think there's a quarterback worth the 2nd overall draft pick, then there's probably not a quarterback worth the 33rd overall draft pick. because this is not a quarterback-loaded class. So stick to it. Don't, half in, half out on. We don't want to go quarterback in round 1, so we're going to go quarterback in round 2. Oh, is there someone worth a pick in round 2 a quarterback? No, but we're going to kind of compensate for not going quarterback in round 1. Now, make a plan and stick to it. All in or all out. I don't want to see them go half in, half out. So this is my mock draft. Abdul Carter in round 1 after trading back with the Giants. Omarion Hampton, running back from UNC. Aireontae Ersery, the left tackle from Minnesota. Derrick Harmon from Oregon. And then Kyle McCord out of Syracuse in round 3. That last pick, by the way, is from the Buffalo Bills, thanks to the Amari Cooper trade. So let me hear it. Grade my mock draft for me. We give Myles Garrett an incredible athletic mold of a pass rusher to work with. Then adding to the running back room, which desperately needs some help, reinforcing the offensive line, reinforcing the defensive line, and bringing in a rookie quarterback for some legitimate competition. All right, let's wrap up the video by picking a card. Reed, which card do you want to roll with for our second video today? I missed you guys so much. I wanted to get a second video in.
It's good. It's good to be back, Pete.
It is.
It's good to be back. Let's go with 8 of spades.
8 of spades?
8 of spades.
I'm going to go with, we had 2, oh crap, dropped like 5 cards. I'm going to go with Queen of Clubs. At this point, by the way, I am almost half intentionally doing a poor job of shuffling because I know it triggers a lot of people in the comments. All right, what did I say? Queen of Spades. What'd you say? Yeah, you weren't even close. 5 of Diamonds, which I said 5 of Hearts last time, so off the back iron. That's going to do it for us on today's episode. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you all later.